welcome everybody to a new episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature, and we have some new books and comics.
Yay!
And welcome your host, Wallace Ryan.
Yay, thank you very much. And we have, of course,
Loki the cat.
Loki the cat, the other black cat. He's not quite as cooperative as the other. Oh.
He slipped away. He's gone.
He slipped away. We'll let him out of the library.
He's like, I did sign up for this.
And, you know, I guess we are giving him a bit of a a rough ride and all that.
With the new pussycat.
Mm-hmm. Now, with this week, we actually, for a change, we actually have comics. Real comics there. And this one is...
Hey, Revisited.
Number 3. Jazz Hands. Yeah, Jazz Hands. Of course, Hate, of course, is the politically incorrect... what would you say, semi-autobiographical adventures of Buddy Bradley and his and his extended family, including his mom. And in this, his mom's like, she's a Trump supporter, right? And he doesn't even want to talk about it with her, right? His wife keeps mentioning, he's like, shut up. Because he don't want to even debate it, right? Which is, one of the problems with someone like that who makes it so that, I mean... Trump has divided more families than he's brought together, right? But this, another classic...
He's brought families together?
Yeah.
Since when?
Since when? I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of KKK function or something like that. So, Hate, it's definitely well worth it. Politically incorrect, which I love. I love anything. Because I've read some humor by some of these newer comedians, and it's just boring, which is the worst thing with comedy. If you're boring, then go home, get out of here, right? And this is the problem. People, of course, everyone has to be morally pure or whatever. So I mean, you get these people who are either painters or comedians or whatever, who've had no life experience or hard times or all that, being brought up perfectly in the perfect middle-class homes, and their art is about as entertaining as a can of peas.
The only political comedy I need is the Parliament debates.
Yes, and in the old days, even those were better. Now, this is a 2-for actually. I actually went back because I'd forgotten one of these comics, and I'm a big fan of the old-fashioned EC comics that I got over there. The Tales from the Crypt, all the old horror ones that drove parents insane in the 50s and led them to create the Comics Code Authority, basically censorship.
Yes.
Once again, let's get down to it, right? Censorship. Yeah. And yeah. And of course back in those days, once they got rid of EC, I mean it was Boorsville in comics until the 60s. And even then it was Marvel started to come out with their good stuff and all that, but it took a while, and people like Warren, who did Warren magazines, The Eerie and Creepy, which were magazines which weren't covered by the code, so they could do whatever they wanted. Anyway, so I guess, I can't remember, this Dark... Oh no, Oni Press. Oni Press has somehow gotten the EC Comics logo, and they're putting out their own versions. Now this is Epitaphs from the Abyss, it says number 2.
What's the other one?
Okay, that says number 2 here for Cruel Universe. I must have missed the first at once. But anyway, I see these, and I just had to grab them anyway, just because it was, being an EC fan, I figured let's see what these are like. Because a lot of times I'd seen people try EC redos, and they just, But
see you going back down there tomorrow and trying to find the other
the other one at once. But this actually has, let's see, people like Stephanie Phillips, Riley Rossmo, Ben Winters, Leo Max, Javier Fernandez on art there. David Lapham, who's one of my favorite artists. He does a really cool story here called Raygun. But they're only like short, maybe 8-page stories tops. So
not as shitty as that Australian Mrs. I'm sure.
No. But Cruel Universe, pretty good. And then the other one, which is Epitaphs from the Abyss. I love the names. As a matter of fact, they had another couple of titles here. Cruel Kingdom, Shiver Suspense Stories, like shock suspense stories from the old days. Oh.
Come in.
Okay, here we go. He's not gonna like it, is he? Look at him.
You scared him.
He's a really nice cat.
He's a good boy when he wants to be.
Yeah, and he's having fun too with Rhea chasing her around. She's jumping on his face and everything.
They surprisingly get along very well.
That's surprising to see a little cat terrorize a big cat like that, though, right?
He's a good boy.
Okay.
He's like, not me.
I guess we'll let him out. Oh yeah, he wants it. Out you go, come on. And anyway, so with the epitaphs from that's a cat break there. We have Matt Kindt and Klaus Janson. Matt Kindt, one of my favorite writers and artists. And writer-artist Tyler Crook, who's also another favorite of mine. And Jason Aaron and Jorge Fornes, I think it is. But anyway, same with this. They're short little stories. Some of them are kind of gruesome or whatever. They're all a little bit politically incorrect in some way, right? Which I like. It's just, these actually were fun to read because it was just like, you know, like one story here where this guy runs some folks off the road, and then the surviving person in the other car takes him prisoner and hides him away somewhere and starts chopping off his fingers after he'd run, you know, because he was on the phone when he ran these people off the road, right? And it's quite gruesome. So it's, you know, it's pure bloody revenge, right? But, you know, once again, I love it. It's just like, we need more disturbing content like this out there, right? I think, right? Now, besides the 3 new comics, I actually got 2 older books, and one of them was this Atlas Artist Edition. This is a nice size too. Joe Manley.
Where are you going to put that to?
I'm not sure, actually, and it's funny because the other ones in this series are a smaller format, but apparently the Artist Edition ones they've made bigger.
They'd make room up top somewhere.
I think so, yeah. Or maybe down on some of the bottom shelves, because they're a bit taller.
There's a lot of short ones down there.
Yeah. I know, but I have a few tall ones like that Wednesday Comics. But now this one, Joe Manley, he was with Marvel in the 50s and all that, and I kind of like his art. In particular, he did the Black Knight. Well, and as a matter of fact, here we go, which was one of my favorite comic strips, and not the Black Knight of today, but the Black Knight from years ago. And I actually, well, I always love big comics, you know. So these bigger books, I always loved. When I was growing up, they had what were called treasury editions, which were oversized comics and all that, and I loved them. There's just something about big comics. I mean, I like the normal size, the normal. I can't even remember the actual size. The 10 by 15 art shrunk down to whatever the modern comic size, but I like these big ones here. Definitely beautiful. Now, there's a bit of a tragic ending to this whole story. He was, because he would have been right up there. I think he would have been actually a great Iron Man artist, for instance, in the new Marvel comics that came out in the early 70s. But he was killed. He was out partying with some friends, I think it was, or something like that. Anyway, he was on a subway going back home, I guess, and back in those days, and in the 80s when I lived there, on some of the cars you could actually, the train cars and the subway train, you could go in between them. You'd open this door and you'd crawl out on this little, you'd walk out on this little shaky platform, close the door behind you, open the door to the next the next train and walk into that, and then walk all the way through that, and then go through the next car. But it was discouraged. You weren't allowed to do it, actually. And because it's fairly dangerous, and I mean there'd be people hanging out in between them sometimes, and he unfortunately went between them, and somehow he fell to his death in between 2 subway rail cars, thus ending what could have been quite an amazing career. Actually, yeah, he probably would have been good for Namor the Submariner, because he did do a cool Submariner. But he had a good style. It was very I don't know, it was very detailed. You know, there was just something about it. And his Black Knight series was really cool. So he would have been, I think he would have been amazing, right? Definitely. Okay. And I got a couple more of these coming too.
And here we have Mickey Mouse.
Last but not least,
Riddle of Brigadoon.
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 Brigaboom. Yeah,
Brigaboom.
I was going to say Brigadoom. Now this was one. Now this is an older one too that I managed to snag that I missed. Now I have a complete set of the Disney Masters.
When you wish upon a spray, from Minnie to Horace and the Mortimer Mouse, Mickey's friends and fiends are all here, and all hypnotized by Dr. Ray Spray's Spray San, a bewitching body spray that makes everyone feel stronger and smarter. But Mickey smells a rat, and he leads a trail to Bridgeaboom, the mysterious island that only appears once every 5 years.
So and this guy who drew it, Romano Scarpa, he's, as it says here, the Grand Maestro of Italian Disney comics. He's one of the European greats for sure, right? He was, Sam had introduced me to a lot of Disney stuff and all that, but he was one I'd heard of. But then once I got his comics and looked at it, I kind of liked his style. He great stories are really cool. He definitely has the Disney style down. As a matter of fact, let's get a close in for our viewers here. I was going to say for our readers. Pretty cool. But yeah, he's there's quite a few volumes in this Disney Masters are by him, right?
I think it's Brigaboom.
Brigaboom, yeah. So yeah, it's I can't wait to read this one. As a matter of fact, I've started. Oh, there he is, there too, the man himself. But I've actually gone back and I'm starting to read, because I got 25 volumes of this, and I think I read about 3 or 4 of them. So I think I'm going to go back and start to read my way through them too now. And as a matter of fact, I'm reading my way through. What am I reading my way through these days? My Walt Disney by Carl Barks, who was the famous duck artist, as they call him. Oh, and there's speaking of Carl Barks, there's Scrooge McDuck. But I think I'm gonna actually get down to it and read my way through it. I've read my way through all my House of Secrets books, and there are some of the books that I haven't read. I'm going back and trying to read. Reading The Boys again, even though I've read it before, and reading Hitman, which is actually kind of cool. Otherwise, I'm not sure what we have. What we have coming in.
Time to go.
Time to go. I'm not sure what we have coming in next week, but hopefully we will have at least a couple comics. If not, I actually wrote 3 or 4 different shows for fill-in shows, because this year, like I say, it's been kind of barren in terms of books. Où la books?
To the Batcave.
To the Batcave. Anyways, thanks for having us over. Oh no. Oh my God. She's headed me. My own very own mother box. Oh, it's taking me away. We'll see you next week. Bye.